Okay, in this video, I'm going to go over a few apps and websites that I use for travel. Follow along. Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Again, in this video, I'm going to go over a few websites that I use when booking my flights, researching flights, and a few other travel-related websites that I found out that you may get benefit of. Again, this is a travel channel. Not much traveling going on right now, so I'm trying to find as much travel information that I feel may be beneficial to you. If you do find any of this information beneficial, please do me a favor, go down and hit the subscribe button, click the bell to be alerted, and even more important than that, if you will, share it with someone else and like if you can, because like helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps YouTube see, well, maybe people are interested in this video and they'll share it with a larger audience. So let's just jump right in. First, I am going to start with a website that is called Skytrax, because here's one thing that I just learned, and I did not know this before, what the seat pitch is. I thought the seat pitch was how far it leaned back, hence pitch, the name pitch, but no. In reality, it is the difference between the same point in the seat that you're in and the seat in front or behind you. So in other words, as this illustration shows, from the back of this seat to the back of the other seat. Now, looks like what some of these airlines are doing, United I know does it because the seats are so narrow. What they've done is to give you a little more leg room is reduce some of the cushion space. So they'll give you a half an inch less of cushion to give you another half an inch of leg space. And the reason I wanted to research this is because there's a big difference between 30 and 31 and 32 inches evidently, because and most of what I'm going to look for is just basic coach and standard seating, not the plus or the premium or first class or business or anything, because this is what we're going to fly on more than likely. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, we're going to sit in the cheap seats unless they need to fill us in, later and give us a larger seat up front. The way that United does it is on a standard short flight, and I guess short is considered anything in the U.S. or close enough to be under 6 hours. So if you look at this one shows the seat, again, from the rear, this one to the rear of the other one. Now, I know I'm 6 foot, just barely 6 foot, and I know it's either 30 or 31 inches because United, whatever they're called, economy seats, whatever's in the back with the whack, whatever those seats are, man, I can't do it. My knees are on it, and then all bets are off if what? If old boy in front of me want to decide he wants to take a nap and lean back, pop, pop, and you had your laptop sitting there and he just crunched the little button, the little tab that holds the tray, pops back on your laptop, possibly breaking it. So you have to grab it real quick. That's something you need to think about too. If you haven't had that issue before, if you ever take a laptop, you need to be careful. Do not sit the top of the laptop underneath that little latch that holds the tray up. So anyway, let's take a look and see what they are. And I'm going to go real fast again. What I consider fast. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can to get through this because I want to show you more than anything, two sites that I use to book my flights. And at least to get the best price. They're the easiest apps as far as I'm concerned to search for. I use it on my phone most of the time, but of course they also have a web version, so I went and pulled that so I could record the screen. So let's go down from the beginning, and we're all only looking at, again, economy class in this one. I've already told them to search that. And this is the pitch off to the right-hand side. So 32, we're looking good. 32 is roomy. Let's just scroll right down because I know all the seats on a Southwest flight are decent. For me anyway, Southwest. 32. So 32 gives me that extra inch where I feel comfortable. The seat with the same seat cushion, I can sit back and chill. Even if somebody does pop back, I still have room to relax. Now, everybody, if you can, of course, and you need more leg room, you're going to try to get bulkhead or you're going to try to get exit row. Bulkhead, if you're not familiar with the term bulkhead, it's a military term, means wall. So that wall between first class and the folks in the back, should we say, that first seat right there, where, you know, there's no seat in front of you, so you can't put a bag underneath it. That's one downside. So you have to put a pocketbook, a purse, or whatever else. If you can't hold it in your hand, if they let you hold it in your hand, you have to put it above. But the plus is you get more leg room. The downside is, again, you don't have a seat in front of you, so you don't have that tray stand coming down. But again, look at the bright side. There's nobody leaning their seat in front of you, onto you, and you still have a lot of leg room. The downside is, another downside is, because you're not the only one that wants to sit there, there and exit row, all the big cats are going to try to get those seats. Now, doesn't matter the width, people will squeeze themselves, no matter how big, tall, wide they are, they're going to squeeze themselves in that seat because they need the leg room. And I get that, because I used to pick exit row all the time until, like, you know, 6'5", 6'8" football player. And if you're 6'8", chances are you got the body width to back up that height too. So that means they're going to need some expansion. Now, I also want to take a second to address something. This is supposedly etiquette that I learned years ago, and I've been flying for a long time. But etiquette, when you have the seats, and there's a good parody. I have to find that parody. If I find it, I'm going to insert it here somewhere at the end. Who gets the armrest? Okay, so this is supposedly, and I haven't seen this written anywhere, but flight attendants will tell you the same thing. If you are on the aisle, you're supposed to get the right armrest. If you're on the right side, let's say you're on the left side. Well, left, right is relative, but if you're on the aisle, you're supposed to get that arm and a little bit of leg room, you know, to stretch out one leg. If you're in the window, you're supposed to get that armrest, a little bit of wall, and, you know, you have your feet underneath that one. And if you're in the middle, you're supposed to, and I don't know suppose, but etiquette says that you're supposed to get both armrests. Now, ever since I heard that, I've lived by that. I caught an attitude one time with somebody years ago. I wanted both armrests. I was in the middle, and I figured, I'm in the middle, okay, that's my downside. I'm in the middle, so I'm squeezed up between two people, but I should get, you know, both armrests. So I was pushing my way through it. Now, whether I was right or wrong back then, I don't know. I don't know if there's a written rule or anything, but I kind of pushed my way through it, and I got my wishes that time. By the way, just a quick story. If you are flying Southwest, and you know this, if you fly Southwest, most of the seats, here's the difference between aisle, middle, and window. Window has that wall, you got leg room, you have that little bit of space. And the same amount of space, well, a little less space because of the curvature of the wall to fit your legs underneath there, but you still have room. If you're in the middle, you have underneath your seat and a little bit of the aisle too. And I'm going to show a picture here, because this really got to me one time. Because if you're on the aisle, you get this little bit of space, I don't know, 9 inches. So you have 9 inches to put your laptop or your backpack or whatever, and still put your feet under there too. Well, I thought since that one seat, and again, I'll show you in this picture, that bar that separates the seats had creeped over to the aisle more. So again, to reduce my space, and oh boy, in the middle had all that space. So long story short, as I put my foot around that little bar, I was still under my seat area. So I figured I was right. And who's going to challenge me anyway? Somebody did, and he's like, this is my space. And I said, my foot's still under the seat. And I was keeping it calm. And he said, flight attendant. He called the flight attendant over, and she said, yes, that's his space. And I was like, but I'm under the seat in front of me. Both my feet are still under the seat in front of me. And she's like, no, I'm sorry. It's that way. So when she walked away, I said, you a bitch. Sorry, I had to beep that out. But I called him the B word. I was a little heated real quick. So anyway, I'm in my little tighten up little space as he goes again. Flight attendant, he just called me a bitch. And I'm going, okay. She said, did you call him that? I said, no, I don't know. No, I didn't call him that. And he's going, oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I'm like, oh, nobody tell on me. I said, I don't know what he's talking about. So she goes up and tells the pilot The pilot comes out, walks up to my seat and goes, "Sir, can I talk to you for a second?" I go, "Yes, sir." So I'm smiling, "Yes, sir. What's going on?" And he says, "Come on here for a second. Let me talk to you." I know what that means because I used to be a doorman. When he says, "Come outside," that means there's a possibility that I may not be going back on the plane. So he pulled me off and said, "Is there a problem?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "I thought I had all the space under the seat in front of me, but flight attendant told me I didn't." And he said, "Well, did you call him a name?" I said, "Well, I call him a snitch, because he ran off and told her." But I said, "There's no problem." He said, "There's not going to be any problems, is it?" I said, "No, sir, there's no problem." I don't know what the problem is. So he said, "Oh, okay, going back." So I went back and sat down. As I'm walking down the aisle, I looked at him like, "Okay, so you try to get me put off." And he gets all mad. Flight attendant, I need to move." And I go, "Okay." So guess what? I got my leg room anyway. Anyway, that's that story. So let's jump straight from pitch let's run through a couple of airlines first. I've already showed you, let's see, Singapore has 32. Singapore is one of the better airlines too, especially if you're flying international. Well, chances are you are flying. Ryanair is one of these little thrifty jobs. And yeah, we took it all around Europe one time, but that's cheap. That and WOW. I think WOW went out of business the month after I took my last flight. I had to go back from Barcelona to Dublin to Iceland to Boston to D.C. before I came back to Houston. It was a trip, but that's what WOW did to me. And right after that, they went out of business. So those thrifty ones, you're going to get the shortest pitch. You're going to get the shortest distance. So Southwest, let's look up, where's United? Okay, 31. 31 is not working. Okay, so it must be 32 inches. 32 inches is enough for a 6 foot tall man and any woman, that's going to sit beside me. Me and Catherine used to fly. If we're flying Southwest, she would sit aisle, I would sit window, or vice versa. And we would try to hold that row, just thinking nobody would sit in the middle, because if somebody does have to sit in the middle, at that point, then we'll ask him, "Hey, do you want the aisle? Or do you want the window?" That way we can still sit together. But yeah, we held that seat. Right or wrong, that's what we used to do. We'll probably still do. Anyway, so United, let's try the other ones too. Let's check out Delta, CD. Where's Delta? Oh, EVA Air is good. 33 too. EVA is long distance. I took that to Taiwan. And I think back when I went to the Philippines too. Emirates, of course, Emirates 32, 33. These are the thrifty seats too. Where's Delta? Okay, Delta, 32. Okay, so 31, not enough, 32 enough. Now, most of the widths of the seats are going to average 17 inches. So hopefully you fit in 17 inches. Let's jump over to the next one. This just shows more detail, the seat width on top of the seat pitch. And I'm looking at, let me just tell you, I am looking at airlinequality.com on this one. This is SeatGuru.com. If you're not familiar with SeatGuru, I'm going to show you a bit more what they can do, but they have a lot of good stuff for you. Mainly one that I'm going to show you. So stick around and show you this one. SeatGuru is the bomb. I've been using that. I've been flying for 20 some odd years. This is a good app, and it's on you, and you can pull it up in the airport and go, okay, especially if you have to pick a seat at the last minute, and I'll show you why it's a good one too. But here it just shows you, okay, 30, 30, 30, but they're going through, they have the list of every possible airplane type, whether it's a Boeing this or I don't even know all the different sizes, and 737 and 707, whatever. But they'll show you all the different versions. If you scroll down, and they'll show you the width also. So look, 17, 17, 18? 18, okay, so because they're going, 17 is the average, though. Aeromexico is good also. I'll show you that too. But anyway, this is called SeatGuru.com. This is just one section of SeatGuru that you may want to check out. From there, let's jump over to the ratings. I'm on SkytraxRatings.com. And this is just rating the airlines. So let's see which airlines. Let's sort, and I think it sorts by on-time rate, service, and so on. So let's say 5 stars. How many 5 stars? Now, by the way, let me go back, because what I did was, had I already chosen? Let's go back. Okay, 5 star. Let's take off the 5 star, because there's another way to sort also, and I've already sorted by Central America, North America, and South America. Let's just worry about the rest of the country later. Just for now, let's stay in this hemisphere, because that's where That's where I'm going. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to go to Mexico. I'm trying to get back to Guatemala and Medellin, probably down the line, Colombia, maybe Costa Rica, Belize. I'm pricing also, so we'll see. But let's choose 5-star on these regions. Low-cost airlines again. This is what you're going to fly. 5 stars. Let's scroll down and see what we have. Sorry, no results match your search. Okay, so let's go from there. Let's go to, where'd it go? Okay, let's go to 4 stars. Who's a 4-star in the U.S.? Bam, Southwest. I used to hate Southwest because I used to argue with people that love Southwest when I was on United's bandwagon. And I was only on United's bandwagon because I was flying them a lot and I was accruing points and I got silver. And then, you know, I could get my upgrades and then I became gold. And then I could change my seats to 24 hours beforehand. I could just shift around. I could watch my app and go, ooh, that seat's open. I'll jump up front or jump and exit. And then, or the possibility of getting upgraded. There's nothing like first class, people, but there's no first class now. You know, they're not serving food. There's no first class as far as I'm concerned. So, especially on short flights. Some of them are asking you not to, you know, the people in Medellin and Colombia, they're telling you don't use the restrooms, the lavatories if you can. So the only 4-star airline is Southwest. Let's jump from 4 stars to 3 stars. I have a good feeling that's where most of the people are going to be. Allegiant, Easy Fly, Flair. Some of these airlines I've never even. Who the heck is Flair? Frontier, Geo Enerjet, Spirit is on there. Okay. Swoop, Volaris. I just found out of Volaris, what that was earlier too, going to Mexico. So let's see who's a 2-star. Man, because you can't make 3. Viva is the only 2-star, and there better not be any 1. You shouldn't be flying if you got, okay, so there are no 1s. Okay, let's jump from there right back to Skytrax, and just to give you an idea as what the ratings are, I'm going to read through these real quick. For the 5 stars, to achieve a top 5-star rating, the staff, service, or product standards must be either meeting or setting global best practice for the item under evaluation. For product analysis, this is a clear, tangible item, and for service assessment, we look for all aspects of excellence supported by true consistency. It is not necessary for an airline to achieve a 5-star for every element of the rating criteria. So it's different things that they're looking at. 4-star rating represents where the airport cabin staff, service, or product standards are meeting a good quality level. Again, I know everybody can read. I'm going through this for those who just want to cook or clean or whatever so they don't have to look at me. 3-star rating is applied where the staff standards or product standards are fair or average. 2-star rating is where the service and product standards do not meet required quality. Ooh, who was that? Was that Viva? Wow. Does not meet the level, required quality levels for the typical operation format of the airline, full service or low cost carrier. Number 1-star rating, it should say you should not be flying, but it says the 1-star rating is rarely applied, but it signifies the product or service standards are totally unacceptable, very poor. Good thing nobody was there. Now we need to check the long haul ones too. So, okay, so this one right quick, I just want to jump on just to show you, this is just a quick rating. Who's got the best ratings? And this is national, international, this is from all the airlines. Number 1 at a 8.23 rating out of 10, Qatar Airways. Have I been on Qatar? No, I don't believe I've ever been on Qatar. Then second place, and this was shocking to me, American Airlines. Makes me want to fly Americans more so. I know one thing, they have that cheap flight or had that cheap flight when I was going to Medellin. I could get from Houston to Florida to MIA, of course it's Miami, for $59. I couldn't beat that. So 8.07 score, Aero Mexico, and this shows you how it breaks it down too. Aero Mexico, I said that before, I show you Aero Mexico, 8.07. So this is how they're rating on-time performance. Qatar has an 8.4 rating, service quality 8.5, and you look down, there's no other ones. That's pretty high for service. Claim processing, I guess that's if you have any issues, 7.8, that's not bad. American Airlines, 8.07 average, 7.5 on time, 7.9 service quality, and 8.8 on claim processing, which means they're not going to give you any rigmarole. Aeromexico, 8.07 total, 7.8 on-time performance, 8.4 service quality, and 8.0 claim processing. And then the list goes down. Let's see if there's any. LATAM Airlines, 7.7, that's not bad. Total of 8.01. Emirates, wow, Emirates is 10. Okay, let's just for grins go to the second one. There you go, United, 7.66. Let's see, on-time performance, 7.4. Service quality, 7.1. Look at this. Go. There's not another 7.1. Let's see, is there another on the, let's go back to the first one. Is this 7.1? Not a 7.1. This is why I don't like United. The service is terrible. The company is run terribly. The CEO is terrible. I hate United. I hate United. Well, hate's a form of passion. Don't let me say that. I dislike them. And no one else has a 7.1. Look at this, 8.8, 8.3, none of it. And we're on in the 21 now. Up to 40, still no 7.1. They have the worst. Now I got to keep going. Is there anybody with a 7? Oh, Eurowings? Never heard of it, but they're just as bad on service. Is there another 7.1? Nope. 7.4 is the closest I'm seeing. Transylvania. Okay, I got to keep going. Is that the last one? That's it. The worst, it looks like United out of, what was it, the top 80 or whatever it was, has the worst service. Now you see why I don't like them. Okay, so let's just jump into the first source that I use to book flights, and that's Skyscanner. And I like it because it's easy to use. So you come in here, you choose where you're going. Now what I do like is when they say all airports, United States, it's going to make me choose one. I would prefer that it allowed me to pick Houston, all airports. You know what I mean? That means Houston Continental, that means Houston Hobby. I mean, I'm not going out of Ellington, but still. And I want to go to GUA, how about that? Guatemala City. I want to go on, let's say, that's December. November 20th to the 25th. I'm gonna search for one. I'd rather do one and then multiply by 2 if I'm going with somebody else. And it'll do its little dance. Now, what I do notice right here is I cannot select nonstop. So right now, for some reason, there's no nonstop flights to Guatemala City. So I'm stuck like Chuck because I don't want to get off and get on. I don't want a 9-hour flight. I don't want a 15-hour flight. And, wait a minute. And I don't want to pay $522. That's another thing too. A nonstop all of a sudden popped up, the best, $522. And of course, I don't like United. I don't want that. I don't want to be jammed up, even if it's only. And why is it 2 hours and 56 minutes? Everybody else is 2 hours and 40 minutes. What route do they take? Why are they 20 minutes longer than everybody else? I don't get that. Lufthansa is about the same. But $522, not going to happen. And you can sort also. You can say you want the best, and I guess that works with the cheapest and the fastest route. But you can say I don't want to take off the 1 stop. I want to take off the 2 stops, and of course that's all that's going to be left. Straight shots. Okay, and another one that I like is also, where is it? You can select if you want Star Alliance or what airline you want it to be. And there was another section down here. I forgot. Oh, only show airlines. No, there's one that says, oh yeah, return at the same airport. I guess because there's no option right here to take off from one airport, like leaving from Hobby and then coming back to Intercontinental, because there was a little selection, if that is a possibility, where you can say take off from the same airport as you left from. Because nothing worse than you park your car at one and you got to cross country, cross town, $40-something Uber ride to get to the other airport. Who wants that? So anyway, this is Skyscanner. And another thing, is this Skyscanner? Okay, so I can say Houston. I use a VPN, and that's why it thinks I'm in Houston. It thinks I'm in Dallas. And I want to go to, okay, this is another reason I like Skyscanner. Can't decide where to go. You click here, and it will show you, keep the same dates, and it'll show you where else you can go. And do you want to stay in the United States? I can stay in the US. So the cheapest flight I can get from the 20th to the 25th is in the United States. Let's pick that and see. It's got to be Denver. Denver's always cheap for some reason. New Orleans, okay, that's a 6-hour drive. Denver is right there second. And look, 2 stops? Really? 152 and 2 stops? I'm not going to stop. Chicago, 178. That's not bad. Round trip Chicago is not bad. So that's always on the list, but I'm still not ready to go out and, be in the middle of things. Las Vegas, one stop. Yeah, I can't do one stop. I can't keep stopping Detroit. I don't want to go to Detroit. Fort Lauderdale, then I would. But New York, okay, 219 is not bad, but if it was a straight shot. But anyway, and that's another feature of the Skyscanner. You can say where you want to go. And let's go back to this one. And okay, it keeps defaulting to, okay, it does say Houston, Indy. Okay, so it's all airports. And let's say, can't decide where to go, search. This time, let's choose outside of the US, Mexico, 249. Where can I go in Mexico? Cancun is always the cheapest. 248. I need to do one stop between here and Cancun. Okay, where's that little button there? Non-stop flights. Do I have to refresh? Okay, Mexico. Yeah, 459, so it's not that cheap anymore. They're gonna put you on 2 planes and then charge you twice as much. Anyway, this is skyscanner.com. And the next one and the most reliable one that I use is Google Flights. If you're not familiar with it, it's a must do. And the main feature I like for it is, okay, from Houston to, let's go, I say Medellin, whatever dates, let's just pick anything because I know I'm not going on that, is this right here. Because when you choose the dates that you want to leave, it tells you, okay, it's 403 here, 409 there, 504. And if you can tell, the cheapest one is highlighted in green. So if I leave on the 11th, then that's the cheapest. Or I can come back the next day for 284. Or the cheapest, again, it's already selected, is 319. So I can choose 319 and then done. And it tells me my flights. Okay, 3. Now, you can also, there is an area on here where you can select, where is it? Okay, bags. I want to say make sure I have one carry-on bag because, heck, and that just jumped the price up. That's more than the cost of a bag too. And if you can, there's 2 people, take 1 bag, And if you're just going for a short haul, get you some ex officio underwear that you can wash and, they're real thin and light. You can keep them in a bag, that and 1 t-shirt and the t-shirt and the underwear you have on now, and you can just wash it in the sink, dry it with a towel. 2 hours later, it's dry. And carry an extra pair of pants, 2 shirts, and the shoes you have on. You know what shoes I wear, and I'm ready to go. But Spirit is going to say, and it's a 7-hour flight because everything has a stop. I can't get the Medellin. I'm not going to do a 12-hour flight. It's just, that makes no sense. Okay, so this is Google Flights. It also does hotels. You can start your trip on here and plan it. You can set alerts too. This one also, Skyscanner does alerts too. So I've set a couple alerts for myself. Do they show me the alerts on here? Where is, let's see, it does save somewhere. Okay, so it knows where I'm looking. And I have alerts set too, so continue planning. Mexico City, Guadalajara, Austin, just a few things I've looked at. Okay. Man, I miss Guatemala. Let me tell you something. If you are a couple, Antigua, Guatemala is a must. It's too close. It's too close, especially if you're in the southern part of the U.S. It's just too easy to get to. It's less than a 2.5-hour flight straight shot from here. But the straight shots don't start until the beginning of December for some reason.
Okay, here's a must app that I had to make sure you saw. It's called TripIt. I use this for all of my travel plans. That means if I'm going out of town and I'm going to stay in a hotel, at a minimum, I'm going to use this because what it is it's a source for all of your travel plans to be in one. So if you're walking up to the hotel and the hotel says, I don't have your reservations, boom, open up TripIt. If you get to the airport and you're not sure what your seat number is or what your flight number is, boom, pull up TripIt. If you get to the rental car place and they say you got the wrong size rented, boom, pull up TripIt. And it's all in here. And the best thing about this is it's free. TripIt is free. So there is a paid or pro version where I think they sync this with the airlines, and they'll tell you, if your flight is delayed or something like that. But for all intents and purposes, this will suffice. What you do is basically you start a trip. Let's say at a trip, you say where you're going to go. I am going to, I have no idea. Miami, Florida. It pulls up a little picture for you too. Trip name, I don't know. So you're meeting your buddies down in Florida, so you're going to do a guys' weekend. It is going to be, what is now? What is today? It's going to be the 31st through, how do I get to, the next month? I'm not seeing the arrows here. Oh, shoot, I can't see it, but it's grayed out. Okay, so I'm going to stay for a couple of weeks, and boom, I'm here. Just some type of reference. You can put the image in here, but it'll add one on its own. Add the trip, and the trip is done. Then from here, and again, it'll show a picture of whatever city that you're going to go to. So there's Miami. And then what you do is, since the email that you started this program with, you will send your travel plans to it. So when you book your flight and you get that reservation sent to your email, make sure you send it send it to plans@tripit.com from that email that you signed up with TripIt on, and boom, it populates. When you book your hotel, boom, it populates. You book your second hotel and your third hotel because you're jumping around different places, boom, pop it in TripIt. Corresponds the times, the dates, the confirmation numbers. That's the biggest thing, the confirmation numbers, because people will challenge you on we don't have your reservation here, sir. But it's all here because you sent it here, so it'll list it here. I don't have anything pending right now, but when I get ready to travel, it just doesn't matter. When I went to St. Louis, well, I didn't know what hotel we were going to have, and in D.C., I think I did it for D.C. because I knew I didn't know what hotel I was going to be in there either. But regular trips, most of my trips are in here. So you can see, okay, Guatemala City. And we had just come back when the virus was breaking. San Antonio, Catherine's family. Let's see, Guatemala City, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Guatemala, Phoenix, D.C., Atlanta, Nassau. I've used this for quite some time. Medellin, Colombia, Cincinnati, Ohio, San Antonio, Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, Knoxville, Houston, Medellin, Miami, Los Angeles, San Marcos. So you can see I've used this a lot. New Orleans, Cincinnati, Seattle, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Nashville, Manchester, United Kingdom, Nashville, Chicago. God, I got to get back to Chicago. Vegas, Philippines, Dallas, Maryland, Illinois, Chicago again, Louisville. And you can see it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So I've used this for quite some time, and all my trips are logged in here. If I had any issues with it, then I could come back and say, okay, I was in the Philippines for Mark's wedding. All my details, this is what it shows you. Okay, my flight from here to DXB is Dubai. I remember I had to stay in that airport for the whole day. My layover was 7 hours. I had to stay in that airport. So connects to the air flight, the time, and you can go in and manually adjust these things if need be, but everything that you send it needs to be correct. You know, sometimes there's some overlap between when you need to pick up your car. So make sure you're picking up your car, before you get to your hotel, because it'll cross-reference and it'll tell you if there's something wrong with it. Your times don't match. The time that I get in my Airbnb, maybe my flight doesn't land until later that, so you may have to go in and edit it and adjust it. But all the information is here. Get out the Airbnb. Then we stayed at the Waterfront Hotel. And that's a nice hotel, by the way. Stayed there for a few days, then we're out. Then we stayed at Crimson Spa. Oh, yes. That was a nice one. Catherine, you remember that one? That was a nice one. That was on Mocktown Island, where the airport is. But anyway, all the information is here. Mostly flight. We didn't rent a car or anything, so that's all that's here. But check out this app again. It's called TripIt, TripIt.com.
Anyway, but one last thing I want to show you before you go. And if I might, before I even show you this, if you're getting any benefits out of my videos, do me a favor, go down and hit the subscribe button, click the bell to be alerted of any new videos, and like if you can. If you can, stop the video right now, go down and hit like. It would be greatly appreciated. That's why I'm doing this, to share the information. And by you saying like, I share it to more people. So I appreciate my subscribers and everybody who comment. You know who you are. Appreciate you guys. And hopefully my subscribers will be the first to say that I do respond to all of my comments and any questions of assistance. I help as best I can. I don't have all the answers. Remember, especially if I haven't flown it myself, I don't feel comfortable giving out certain information like, 96 hours to get into Medellin. So that whole 96-hour deal. Okay, SeatGuru. This is the one that I started with in the beginning. I'm back to this because this is the main feature that I like about it too. And you can change seats on the fly, especially if you had, at least on United on the app, I could sit there and go early, especially when I was silver and when I was gold. I could just change my seat at any point before, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes before they were getting ready to board, I could change my seats. And if I'm in the seating area, boarding area, I would just run up and have them reissue me a ticket. Hey, my ticket's changed all of a sudden. I changed it. But can I get a new ticket? Always good to get a hard ticket, because if you don't and something goes wrong, you may be the person that gets bumped, because United always overbooks. Always. So they're always asking for people, which if you're not in a rush is a good thing. They also have the ability now to ask you, normally they ask you during check-in, if they don't ask you at the gate, but they'll ask you how much are you willing to take if you're willing to bump your flight. $300, $600, I've said $600 before, and I think I got $300 and I took it. Said, hey, 2 hours late, and sure enough, another plane popped up 2 hours later and I was back. It was on the way home from a business meeting. So anyway, what this does is, and I wrote down a few, so here's what you do is, if you're trying to find a good seat on an airline, again, they go through, SeatGuru goes over every configuration for every airline and for every plane that they fly. So let's pull a couple, let's say, okay, Volaris. This is where I just found out what Volaris was, and that, I don't even know what that logo is. For 1120 and flight number 891. I pulled up a few ahead of time to get ready for this. So, and now when you do this, it looks like it didn't do anything. I did this 3 or 4 times before I realized I got to scroll down. Okay, yeah, that's the one right there. View the map, and it shows you the plane and goes, okay, so here's that exact plane, whether it's a Boeing 737 or whatever, and it color codes it too. So green, of course, is good. Okay, now this is bulkhead. No, this is not. Yeah, it's bulkhead. So there's no first class. Again, these are all economy. What is this? Volaris. Okay, so there's no first class. So it's all economy. But this says, okay, and here's the reasons why they give it this rating. Seat 1A is an economy class exit row seat. So I guess you're at the front door, that's an exit row. Volaris Airlines designates this seat as a premium seat and is charging an additional fee for it. The premium seats offer additional legroom. The tray table is in the armrest. I forgot about that. So there's another downside. You have to pull that thing back up. The table is in the armrest, making the armrest immovable and slightly reducing seat width. The proximity to the galley and lavatory may be bothersome, and there is no floor storage during takeoff and landing. That's the big part. So I guess you put your bag up there, and then once it takes off, you can reach up and grab your purse, or your laptop, or your whatever. But then again, there's no place to put your laptop in front of you except on your leg or that little, whatever, the table thing, which wobbles. It's always crooked. So the other seats, again, they charge more for these blue seats. These are economy. Here you go, basic ones. Green, these are exit row again, so that's why they're green. They'll charge extra for it too. If it's a little bit yellow, let's see what's the yellow before. Okay, limited or no recline. That's another thing. If you don't pick, if you're not a flyer, and this is your first time too, and you figure, okay, let me grab this seat right here, and just so, if you didn't pay any attention to it, you're actually the row in front of exit row, well, that doesn't recline. You cannot recline back into an exit row. So just remember, if you're flying, when you don't get bulkhead up front, if you have something you need to keep with you, and also again, if you do get exit row or bulkhead, you're going to be sitting with big people because they know to grab those seats. They'll even pay extra for it, and then you're stuck there in between, 2 6'8" football players. So This one is a little bit of yellow. Okay, because it does not recline. Yes, in front of exit row. And then of course you have the red ones in the back because you're back there and you can you can smell the toilet and whatever food they're cooking back there too. And this last row does not recline either because you're up against the wall. And this tells you good seat, be aware, see comments, bad seat, mixed review. And people actually give reviews. This was by a user. This seat was perfectly fine for the 3-hour trip, Mexico to MXL, Mexicali. The legroom was fine and the seat width was more than sufficient. So they give you a little bit of information. This is SeatGuru. Let's pull up another one. Let's try Spirit. I'm gonna do this and a United one too, SP. Okay, Spirit on 12.5. 12.5 seat. I'm sorry, flight 383. Okay, here we go. Whoa, everything's yellow. Okay, why is everything yellow? The seat does not recline. There you go. Okay, Spirit, and I forgot about that too. And I don't know which airline, if it's all of their flights or not, but the seats don't recline. I'm a fan of that though. Give me my room, leave my room alone. Because nothing worse than them giving you a little bit of leg room and then, oh boy, in front of you, pop, pop, pop. And you know, his head is right in front of your head. So everything on there is yellow because of the fact that the seats do not recline. And it has a 28-inch seat pitch. So if you go back to where I was before, 30, 31, not cutting it. This is 28. But what you do is on Spirit, and you get one of these seats up front. So even if it doesn't, let's not go all the way up front. I normally grab the second one because it's not bulkhead. But you have 20-inch width and 36 inches seat pitch. So you have ample, I mean, if you see my video from before, us sitting in the big seats, go ahead, it's worth the extra money. It's worth the extra money. You can get on late. Now, if you have carry-on, that's an issue. Send one person on to put the carry-ons on, and then the other person can just get on later, right before they shut the door. Just walk on, sit down, ding, and out. But they do not recline. Even though they're big seats, they don't recline. But it's enough for me. Some of the planes are a little older, you know. So be careful with that. But everyone here, because they don't recline, they consider all of these yellow. Let me show you one more before I go. Old time favorite, United. Did it? Get it? Okay. And for November 20th, flight 1090. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, keep forgetting to look down. Okay, so this has first class up front. First class recliner. Why is it yellow? Restricted leg room due to because you're up against the wall. So that's another thing, bulkhead. So if it's a close bulkhead, you can't really stretch out like you even would in the back, because even in the back you can put your feet under the seat. But if you're bulkhead, it's like you're sitting in front of a wall. And if there's no TV, you know, that's another thing too. Most of the flights that I've had over the past year or two, they've taken out most of the seat back video monitors or TV. They've taken all that stuff out, just giving you Wi-Fi for your phone or your laptop. So I just download stuff. I have YouTube Premium, so I just download a bunch of movies on my phone or on my tablet and watch that. And that seems to work. Also, Southwest gives you, free text, and they give you free Wi-Fi. You can't play video games or movie on that Wi-Fi though, and they show movies too. United has that app also, but that's hit or miss, 50-50 whether or not that's going to work, because they just beat up like. Anyway, so 7A, green, all these green. This is where you actually have leg room, economy plus seat. I don't know what the leg room is, but it's more than 31 inches. But back here, you're 31 inches, and it's going to be tight. This is saying, let's see, it doesn't tell me why, but this one doesn't tell me why. Why is this no TV, no power, but they're all no TV, no power. See, it says it in, well, I can't click on it. In the upper right-hand corner, this little box. Again, the last row, because it smells, you're next to the toilet, and the seats don't recline. Again, this is SeatGuru SeatGuru.com. SeatGuru.com. Hopefully some of this information is of benefit to you. Again, like, subscribe, much appreciated. We'll see you next time.
We have a YouTube channel, like it.
Please comment and share if you like the video. Please subscribe and kick the bell.